Hey, Pisces, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your October 2024 monthly reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right. There's some sort of conflict resolution for you this month. Bottom of the deck, you do have the conflict card, but I see you overcoming obstacles here. Something has been quite triggering. This could even be a part of your diet, okay? It may be something that you've been eating. It may not have been bringing the best reaction of some sort. For others of you, you're eliminating drama, you're eliminating toxicity from your life, and boy, oh boy, does it feel good. Something is being rebalanced here for you in the month of October. You have the Strength card showing up. You also have the Hierophant, you have the Moon, the Chariot, the Sun, and the Knight of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Temperance. This has been a long time coming, okay? This is a month for complete tender loving care, taking care of yourself, your needs, your health. And I feel like it's time for you to get a bit selfish, Pisces, right? And what I mean by that isn't saying you're neglecting or avoiding a responsibility, but sometimes you may feel like you take care of everyone else and not yourself. And I feel like this is the month where you put yourself first. You put your health first. You're taking care of you. Yeah, you're investing in things that feel good. And it's been a long time coming for some of you. You have the Bliss card and the Sun in your reading, and those two are the most abundant cards in both of these decks here. So I feel like you could even be heading to a place that feels a lot warmer. This could be mentally in your head. This could be emotionally. It feels warmer. This could be physically. You could be going to a space that just feels vibrant, alive, and a lot of warmth, a lot of happiness after really fighting for something. If you've had or struggled with a health issue, I see that you may have the answer, or you may have clarity here with the Moon in reverse. I mean, the Moon is also your major arcana, and I feel like an illusion is being revealed. Something is being lifted, and it's going to allow you more peace. I mean, I wonder why we would stay. I mean, we do all the time. We stay in situations that are dissatisfying, right? We stay sometimes because we don't have any other options, or it feels like we don't, right? And it feels like you may have sat in something for quite some time that just felt a little bit difficult or challenging, and now you're moving on from it. Yeah, clock. You have the clock at the bottom of the deck. You needed a little bit of time to heal, or this was a cycle and it took a bit of time. For some of you, it was a long cycle with that Temperance card. And I see a huge progression here, a progression in moving towards something very, very good. And I'm liking this. Pisces, let's dive in. You start off with the Ascension card, soul advancement. Not only is this soul advancement, but I feel like this is personal or even professional advancement because a lesson has been integrated. A lesson has been learned. And when that lesson is learned, we're able to hit a new tier, right? We're able to hit a new level. And it doesn't mean that it's better than, right? It could be that we pivot, we open up to a new relationship, or we open up to a new position. And it's not a better than or less than type of energy, but it's a, what can I experience now? What kind of growth can I bring into this? And yes, it does look like it is quite abundant. So maybe that does feel better than what you were in, but I just feel like there are new discoveries and new doorways opening up for you. You have this sense of awareness around yourself or a situation that you didn't have prior, okay? Not with the Moon here. And maybe it's this eclipse energy in October that is shedding some insight. Perhaps this is illuminating the path because something was very much hidden from view. And maybe you were reacting out of a place of subconscious awareness. Maybe you weren't even consciously aware of why you were attracting or responding in ways that you were. And I feel like you're putting yourself first, and that in itself, that's not selfish. We may believe that it is because we have things to take care of. We have people to take care of. But I feel like you've neglected a part of yourself that is very important, right? We are very important. And sometimes we do. We put ourselves or our own needs on the back burner. And I just feel like this is a month where you're not doing that. You're not doing that, because you have the detox card. And I feel like you are working on making healthier choices, maybe more consciously aware choices. This is about withdrawing potentially from drama, or withdrawing from, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy eating patterns, unhealthy ways of thinking, right? This can be anything. I feel like you're detaching from this, though. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, you're detaching and maybe even going in a whole new direction, because I do see the Hierophant showing up here in reverse, and it's about you shedding a belief. And by shedding that belief and replacing it with a new one, it's actually going to allow you to move in a new direction. And that's why we also see the Chariot showing up for you. You could be releasing someone or something, but it's going to be beneficial to your happiness. So if you've been stuck in a repeat cycle, or if you've been stuck feeling not happy, right? If you've been second guessing or just dissatisfied in any way whatsoever, this is the month where there is a massive awakening within you. And it may be after disconnecting from this situation that you gain a little bit more insight, because you have the R and R card. Rest may be required. You may have to take a little bit of time out, because sometimes we need to remove ourselves from the situation in order to gain a better perspective or a new perspective. And I do see here some of you heading towards healing, okay, recovery. You're on the path of recovery in some way, and it feels more enlightening with double sun energy here. This is massive enlightenment. And this has been a common theme throughout all of the signs. You're the last sign for the monthlies. And the biggest theme, so this is happening collectively, this is happening for everyone, is balancing the light and the dark, right? Or the light and the shadow. And the message that came through in Aries reading was, the closer we are to the light, the longer the shadow, right? The bigger of a shadow it is. And I feel like you are becoming more and more aware of who you are and your life's path and your intuitive nudges, and you're trusting in your higher self more now than ever, Pisces. And that's going to bring about some shadows. It's going to bring maybe people from the shadows, or it could bring triggers or memories, but ultimately it is for your highest good, because you're going to be able to deal with some of those things from a holistic viewpoint versus just, this way or that way. It's not black and white anymore. And I feel like there's a lot more peace coming in here, because some of you have felt like you were in survival mode or fight or flight. You may have even struggled with adrenal fatigue syndrome, very tired. I feel like I'm very tired here, or I feel drained, but this month you feel more vitality. And I do get that some of you are completely switching up what you put into your body. This could be the people that you surround yourself with. I mean, it's the energy, right? And these things emit energy, people and foods, and whatever we connect to, it gives off a frequency, and it either fulfills you or enlightens you, uplifts you, or it's going to drain you. And this is the month where you really make that call and say, yeah, this is it almost feels counterintuitive, as it's black and white. You're going to be able to see it clear, but that is going to open you up to expand upon the rainbow. I hope that makes sense, because there's definitely more than just the push and pull that we see of the conflict. And some of you have been going back and forth with a situation, and you haven't been seeing the whole picture of a situation, and now you're seeing the whole picture here. Now you start off with the Strength card. It hasn't been easy. When we get the Strength card, this is self-control. It's difficulty, but finding ways to overcome it. This is facing our fears and really reaching into that inner strength and courage and determination to fight off those demons in a sense. And for some of you, you are really doubting your path, or you are really doubting a direction that you are on. And if that's the case, you may be reassessing, right? Reassessing, is this best for me? Do I want to be in this relationship? Do I want to be in this job? How can I turn my health around? How can I be a better version, a healthier version of myself? And I feel like that's what this month is all about. And it's going to take strength. Yeah, it's going to take discipline. It's going to take courage, just like every new routine does. Think of that exercise routine. We have to maybe schedule it in, set a certain time. We have to get up and go to the gym, right? You have to continue making that choice, putting in that effort and utilizing that strength in order to build the muscle and stay consistent at it. And I feel like that's what you're doing here. Is there is a sense of consistency, but if you are consistent and you follow through, it's going to bring a lot of happiness is what I'm getting. Now, the fact that all of these cards came out in the resistance position, I feel like the Strength is going to say, wait a second, we're going to get the ball rolling. We're going to get back on track this month. And I feel mid-month, possibly the 14th, I'm getting 13th, 14th. It may even be around that full moon in Aries, which is a powerful one. I feel like that could be when some sort of aha moment is had, or maybe some sort of truth is revealed, or you may receive news that allows you to commit to a new path. Maybe if you've been wanting a career change, which we're going to look at career, we'll look at love, we'll dive into all areas, but I am getting here you recommitting to a path that feels a lot lighter. It feels brighter. It feels more, abundant and more aligned with who you are on a soul level. Because the Hierophant is about our beliefs, right? Do they align with us? Is it a tradition that, I had continued to follow because that's what society told me, right? Was it a tradition that my family put into play, but it's not something that aligns with me anymore? Maybe it's something you went to school for. It can be education. This is where we learn our beliefs. This is where we get our conditioning basically. And I also see this being a spiritual practice for some of you. You may be reshifting how you tune in to your intuition, and maybe instead of second guessing, maybe instead of the belief saying, maybe I'm not intuitive, or perhaps, I'm not as spiritual, or whatever it may be, I feel like you're saying, wait a second, why am I self-doubting myself? I do have what it takes. I am intuitive. I am, a spiritual soul having this human experience. And I feel like you're getting back on track by feeling more confident about who you are and where you are going. And boy, does that feel good, because when you're in the moon, when you're in this moon energy, and that may be why I'm getting the full moon, put those two together, it almost feels like there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, a lot of illusions. We tend to go down the rabbit hole, right? And you see that the moon is represented by the cat here, the Cheshire cat in Alice in Wonderland, all the eyes that kind of make you a little dizzy. And sometimes, as the saying goes, curiosity killed the cat. And it's not that it's not that you're letting curiosities get the best of you in a good way, because sometimes it's great. We must chase our curiosities because that can lead us to our fulfillment and our mission. But sometimes we go snooping around, or we go looking for or digging stuff up that we don't need to know. Maybe, if you're going to look for something negative, you're probably going to find it. And I just feel like, whether it's true or not, right? But I feel like the moon is saying, don't go digging here down a rabbit hole of unhealthy triggers, wounds, patterns. Don't go looking for something in order to maybe gain clarity. It almost feels like looking for love in all the wrong places, right? There's that song, Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places. Now, it may not be love, but it could be looking for an argument or drama of some sort. And if this is not you, Pisces, this could be people around you, and you're saying, wait a second, I'm not going to play your game, right? I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole of gossip or fears or illusions. And I feel like you're cutting that out and you're getting real. There's something that is very, very much exposed, and it does require you to trust your intuition and to push through those illusions or those fears and be curious, but not by the fears. Be curious about the facts. Okay. Fears versus facts here. And that may be why we have the Chariot, because it almost feels with the Chariot showing up, this is victory. Okay. This is victory. It's travel for some of you. It can be what drives us emotionally. And it feels like if you go looking for something, if you go down that rabbit hole of fear, it feels like there's going to be then an action that's based on emotions that align with that fear. So let's say you go looking for something, or you start telling yourself a story that doesn't exist. Then you start getting in your chariot. It's like drunk driving. It's like drunk driving here. If you go in all confused, all hazy, and you get behind the wheel, it's a recipe for disaster, right? You want to be clear-headed. And that's why the moon is showing up here saying, get behind this chariot, right? The chariot is the emotional driving force behind this, but you want to make sure you're coming from, a clear space with the moon, because you don't want to be driving and you have the headlights on and they're foggy, right? If you've ever driven with foggy headlights, you can't see crap. And I feel like you want to move forward with precision, and that's a big message coming in, and it's going to require strength, and it's going to require you committing to a new belief or a new path this month, because where you're going, you may not necessarily see it while it's in the dark, but if you have those clear headlights and you have your high beams on and you're on the road, you're going to be surprised that, when that light pulls up, you're going to be in some place that's sunny, right? You're going to be in some place that's sunny, some place that's warm. It's a completely different energy than the one you've left behind. And I see here with the King of Pentacles, this could also be long-term for you. The King of Pentacles is big boss energy. This is someone who's wealthy, abundant, reliable, traditional, right? He's disciplined, he's mature, he's respected, right? It's the Gnome King, and he has a strong, solid, rock solid, he's built of rock here, rock solid foundation of his goals and his inspirations, and he's not going to let distractions hold him back from his happiness. And I feel like, yes, there's been some distractions, but you are brave enough and courageous enough to push through that, Pisces, whatever it may be here, because the sun is happiness, right? The sun is abundance and vitality. It's feeling playful and excited. As you're rolling in at 7, 8 a.m. in the morning and you've been driving all night, and typically you'd feel tired, right? You'd feel tired, like, I just want to rest. I just want to, get some downtime. But then you roll into this town and it's like, a Hallmark city and the Christmas lights everywhere, and it feels just, abundant. So some of you, that is the energy you're going into. Just feels long term, and it's not airy fairy, right? But it does feel like it's solid. Okay. It feels solid. It feels happy. It might scare you a little bit, but I feel like this is where you are meant to be. It is where you belong. So Pisces, let's look at how this flows into your career, your finances, your money. Okay, we have the slow card showing up. So it does look like things have been progressing, but slowly, but steadily, slowly, but surely. And it says here, remember, slow and steady work leads to success that is sustainable. This King of Pentacles He is someone that it takes time, right? This does not happen in days. This does not happen in weeks, months, and this takes years and years to get to this King of Pentacles status. And I feel like it reminds me of the saying, gosh, what is that saying? It reminds me of like the turtle. There's something here with the turtle. People think the turtle is very slow, but have you ever seen a turtle book it for the water after it's hatched? It's actually quite quick. And then when it gets in its element, right? And when it gets into the water, it is really quite fluid and it can really just swim with the currents. And I feel like you've struggled here getting to the water. You've struggled when it comes to some sort of emotional fulfillment. And I just feel like once you're getting out of the sand, right? I mean, some of you, look at this. They're quite literally sitting there kumbayaing in the sand. And I feel like you are getting to that point where you're just about to hit the water. And that's you in your element here. Some of you may have a turtle, or turtles could be significant for you in some way, shape, or form. It says don't put anything off, right? Something needs to be looked at now. So stop putting things off for later when you need to do it now. Okay, there is something here that needs to be addressed, like that white elephant in the room. Instead of walking around it, instead of hiding behind the curtain, address it now, because you're going to wish if you put this off, you're going to, 5 months from now, 5 years from now, you're going to wish that you wouldn't have put it off. And I feel like it's time. Potentially time to invest. Finances are looking good. They're growing. Oh boy, they are. That King of Pentacles, the Sun. Some of you are hitting it big here, but not because you're hitting a jackpot, because you've worked for it. And it says here, this is a great time to invest. Maybe some of you are thinking about investing in property, investing in a business, investing in schooling, education, or investing your money, putting it somewhere. Some of you are investing in yourself. Set a strong foundation and you will see the fruits of your labor. Well, like I said, this is quite the strong foundation here, because we do have the King of Pentacles, which is rock. We said rock solid. I mean, it doesn't get any more stable than that. And so I feel like you are investing in something that is long term. You have the Office. Delegating more can help you increase your earnings. Now, some of you may work in an office environment or an office setting, even if it's remotely. You could be a secretary, a staff assistant, an office manager, or any job that entails, again, administrative, office work, computer work, technology, teaching. It says, think of the greater good than of oneself, right? And which is interesting because we start off with the self, and maybe that's why it feels a little foreign, but I feel like you need to take the time for you to choose and make decisions. And then it does lead to the greater good. It will be something here that produces a better outcome. But I feel if we're going into it with that fear-based energy, that's like putting on those, googly goggles and getting behind the wheel. I feel like it's going to leave you all over the place. So we have to choose and be precise within our energy. And I feel like that is going to be beneficial to the greater good of all. And lastly here, you are a leader. Pisces, you are bringing in a lot of strength, courage, and leadership. You're stepping into a role as a leader because you're ready. You are ready. It says your career will improve once you accept and step into your power. That is the strength card here, stepping into your power. So you may be a little nervous, a little fearful that, maybe you're not good enough, or maybe if you commit to this path, people won't like you. They'll judge you. Maybe you feel like, it's going to be off track. You may not be able to see what the outcome is, but Spirit does, right? Spirit does, and this is what it is right here. It's the Sun. And it says here, don't follow the crowd in fear of putting yourself out there. So some of you are meant to make a strong, solid decision. It does not mean that you have to be in a leadership role. So many times I get people that say, well, Mel, I don't want to be a leader. It's about you stepping into your power for whatever that may mean for you. Maybe it is you retiring. Perhaps it's you stepping into your power by turning down a position, right? Whatever this is for you, it's going to help you feel empowered because you are the one that is calling the shots here. But I do see for those of you that are looking to step into, a bigger role, then you have the ability to do so here with the King of Pentacles and the strength. Then there's commitments coming in here. Now, if you have been wanting to exit out of one group dynamic, something you were once committed to, but it's been a little bit of a hazy ride, right? You haven't known, like, how is this going to go? Should I work with this company? Should I apply elsewhere? When am I going to get the job? I see the Chariot being a big factor in this, and emotions have played out, but it does look like this month you have some sort of abundance showing up, or maybe even the opportunity to really be respected and showcase your talents in a profound way. I'm just going to pull a timing card here for you, because I feel for some of you, you've already got the job. Okay, but it may require a little bit of a break. And that's why you have that rest and retreat. Some of you, there may be like a 2-week notice. This could be a break between the old and the new. For some of you, you've just been overworking. You're tired. You're ready for a break, and you could be traveling. Maybe that's the break that's coming in here. And I see that this is something that's built up momentum. Some of you have been in a cycle for maybe more than a year. Okay. Or it could take, within the next year, 2025, to really embrace all that this King of Pentacles and Sun have to offer. Okay. Let's take a sneak peek at love. What do we have for Pisces in love? Some of you are like, Mel, I'm not worried about love. I'm focusing on my money, and that's okay. You have abundance showing up here. This is positive mindset. This is manifestation. This is gratitude, bliss, and a lot of blessings. So some of you are very blessed when it comes to finances or growing your affluence, growing your talents, your abundance. And I also see some of you, oh, this is interesting. Some of you may have had to cut ties with an individual because they were blocking your abundance. Okay. Now this could be romantically. I mean, it could be, of course, someone professionally, but because we're taking a look at love, it almost feels like there was someone of the past with the camera card, someone from the past that was blocking your ability to make money. Okay. For whatever reason. And I feel maybe they were taking advantage of you in some way. Maybe you had to give them money, or, maybe they were relying on you or codependent financially, or perhaps you were in that dynamic and you weren't able to physically move or grow. I just feel like you had to cut ties from either a loved one, family member, a friend, or a romantic partner because it was interfering. Maybe finances could be interfering with a connection here. Someone may have chose money over love. But I get that we all have a past. You've gone through a lot. And yes, you've made some memories. Some of you may be reminiscing like the good old days, right? I remember when is what you may be saying. I remember when things felt simple or when things felt easy. You've learned a lot from your past. And I feel like the perception now that you have about a person is completely different than it was in the beginning. And that's typically how it goes, right? Sometimes we tend to see people as we grow and evolve, and we are basing new experiences, new conditioning. Sometimes we see things when they are illuminated to us that we can't ever come back from. And I feel for some of you, there was an individual here who you've seen from a new perspective, a new light, and it may not have been that perception that you thought you were going to be forever with this individual. And that may be why the ships come in, because you may have cut ties. You may have moved on. This is receiving what you've needed to grow, and I see to progress, and it's like you've arrived. You've arrived, and look at it's the ship. And we talked about the turtle, the sea tortoise or turtle, hitting the water and finally feeling like you are free. You're in your element. You're able to move forward. Now, for those of you that are in a relationship, I feel like you may have been with this individual for quite some time, or it's been a little off and on for quite some time. There may be a time coming up where you move in a direction that does feel a lot more happy, whether that means you are going to cut ties, or it means that you need to take a little break with the rest and retreat card in order to really reprioritize what is in my highest good and then make a decision. Maybe that decision is coming together and really growing because you've gone through a lot together. Or again, it's just resolving conflict. But the good thing I see here is you're using your tools that you have available, your spiritual tools, which we all have. Intuition, right? But you also may be consulting in maybe a medium. This could be a soul coach, a psychic, a tarot reader. You may also be working with crystals or sage, pendulums. This is about you being able to use the tools to gain a sense of deeper insight and deeper awareness to help you go through some of these trialing times, right? And a lot of times when we ask for help, when we look to tarot for guidance, it's because we want some answers, right? And I see here with the moon, you want some answers. And I see you utilizing that energy to help you overcome conflict. And I feel like the time is now. They're saying the time is now. The waiting period is over. No more delaying your happiness. No more delaying your gratification. Because I did see here all of these showing up in the reverse is saying something is being exposed for you. So if you felt like time was ticking, you were running out of time, maybe for some of you, it's like you've been focused on money, but now you're ready to focus on love and putting yourself out there. You've arrived, and you could very well be meeting someone new and taking action towards putting yourself out there. And I do see maybe that within a year, some of you really could be calling in or manifesting a soulmate or lifelong partner. The time is now. Okay, results are in. For those of you that have had some health issues or health concerns, potentially relating to blood, I'm getting blood, maybe blood work, a blood panel, I'm hearing cholesterol. For others of you, I feel like there's been some sort of arrhythmia, okay, something with the heart valves. I'm also getting the gut with the detox here, acid reflux potentially, or within the bowel region. Take this as it resonates. See the disclaimer in the description box below. But I do feel like it's time to address, it's time to work with a nutritionist, it's time to get some blood work done, but you may see some results coming in. And I feel like the results, if this is something you've been working on, it does look like something could be favorable here for you. You may have the green light that says, yeah, you can go back to work, or yeah, your cholesterol is down, or it looks like you've been taking good care of yourself, Pisces. You're good. You're doing great. Something has been cleared. So I like this. And if that is not the case, if you do get some sort of results, okay, don't let those results be the end all be all, because it says here that you have the ability to switch course and take action here and to heal to full vitality with 2 suns showing up in your reading. All right, Pisces, last but not least, we have the nectar. And I mean, when you think of nectar, that's sweet results, right? And it still keeps bringing me back to the little turtles that are hitting that water. And this is the elixir. It's the medicine. It is the garden. In Hindu mythology, there is a miraculous substance known as amrit, or nectar, that contains infinite healing power. This golden nectar, or sacred elixir, is the drink of immortality, and like its sister substance, soma, is known to activate subtle intelligent forces that ease the mind, body, and spirit. Though esoteric, these images lead us to the central energy of this archetype, the sweet, potent, heavenly essence that lubricates our spirit back to life. It does remind me of the cards on the juice here, on the detox. This is an elixir of sorts. The nectar card calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, people, and activities that regenerate and heal. Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle forms that you may be overlooking. There's the moon, right? This is the month for you really to see something that needs to be seen. And I feel like it will be revealed. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden you have forgotten. Don't underestimate this remedy. It is said when someone has activated this substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. The nectar, the mystic, and aletheia are all linked. Okay, it is the mystic who, like Krishna, turns poison into nectar. And it is truth that can often serve as a potent elixir for healing. And I see the truth coming out here, right? There's something about getting honest with yourself, getting honest with, your path, addressing that white elephant. So whatever truth is bubbling up within you, listen to it. Because this is really going to heal. And this makes perfect sense with the sun card that's showing up at the end as the outcome energy here for you. Sense the nectar within you, dripping from the crown of the head and soothing the brain. Let it drip down the spine like sweet honey. When this is showing up as the light aspect, and we talked earlier about the light and the shadow, when this is the light, it's glowing, it's relaxed, it's subtle illumination. But when it does show up as the dark, it's fixation on fixing. It's aggression. It's aggressive approach to healing. I have to heal this. I'm going to heal it this way or that way. And it almost feels more forced, more coerced, more kind of, we talked about the chariot. It's like getting behind the wheel and not having that clear energy of how to heal. And we just slap on a bunch of things and we end up in a disaster. So this nectar is saying here, let's not get so caught up in the how of a situation necessarily, or the aggressiveness of it, but how about getting more of that subtle energy, that slow and steady wins the race, okay, in all areas of your life. If you want to take this a step further, Pisces, read The Wind One Brilliant Day by Antonio Machado. I think it's a song. It may be a poem. Don't quote me on it. But I definitely feel like this is the elixir, right? This is the medicine. That's what this month is all about for you. That's why you have the detox, because this is going to allow you to rest and retreat and to really, have the courage, the self-discipline, the determination to take a look at what needs to be healed. And instead of coming at it from, the flying monkeys that are listening to the Wicked Witch, how about the flying monkeys that listen to Dorothy's command? The command of love, not through the command of fear. And I do see things really taking a big turn for you for the better. Sun energy is always good. Thank you so much, Pisces, for tuning in, beautiful souls. I hope this was helpful. If so, please hit that thumbs up button. It certainly does help get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.